I wanted to ask you something about your own relationship to horror and things that scared you as a child.
Yes.
Well,
it's
what monsters?
I stayed away from it. I was really scared. I was scared of being scared. And so I never watched or turned on a scary movie. And then I was a big Abbott and Costello fan. I don't know if you know who they are. Yes.
Yeah.
And so when they came up with Meet the Mummy or Meet Frankenstein, I fell in love with it. That was my introduction to monsters were through those films. So it's kind of funny where now I'm presenting these monsters again, but in a comedic way, yeah. And so I was always comfortable with that, and I'd much rather be scared than much rather be funny, laugh than be scared.
Yeah, I think there was always an element though of fear with Abbott and Costello as well, and also the Bob Hope movies.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
for
Cat
sure.
and the Canary.
Yeah. And but because I knew it was safe, because I knew that it's Abbott or Costello reacting to it, it was much safer than a real one.
Yeah, yeah. And so when did you start watching horror, or have you ever watched?
I never have.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I mean, I read the books because they were very interesting and well written and stuff. But as far as watching scary movies, I still never go see any scary movies.
And what about your own kind of storytelling? Because obviously you're from Russia, and so I wondered if there were sort of fables that you grew up with, and like fairy tales often have that element of fear in them as well.
There's, definitely when I was in Russia, things were scary. And so there's I don't know if it's an oppression or a dark cloud that always hangs about you. But I think in America that all went away. And, it got very silly for me. And I think it's, I think culturally it's definitely inside of me. And I know as a director, everything that I've done is very different than other people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of my immigrant, I think, fitting in, thematically. I think a lot of things I do are about fitting in, and acceptance. Yeah. And I think that's knowing that when I was a kid, I stood out. And I really wanted to fit into everybody else, I never wanted to be the one to go, oh, look at him, he's not from here.
Yeah.
And so I think that part of it kind of influences everything that I do. Mm-hmm. Much more in-depth than I was going to go today, but
wow,
yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
You got the scoop.
And you've moved Hotel Transylvania out of Transylvania on a cruise ship. Do you see Hotel Transylvania traveling elsewhere in the future?
In the future, yeah, I think if this one is successful, I think you start to realize, these characters are alive and people want to see it, and so then it's just about finding the right story that's sincere, that's not just a quick, grab for cash, that's honest, and then I think people will accept it.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any ideas?
No, I'm just finishing this one, so we'll see what happens next.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey